This is one of the most ancient churches on the Vatican Hill. It was first mentioned and thus already existed at the time of the pontificate of Pope St. Leo III at the end of the 8th century. According to what we can read in the Liber Pontificalis, the Pope donated a silver lamp to this little church, located next to St. Peter's Basilica.
La prima data di cui si parla
The first date is in 795 because Leo III at that time entrusted it to the care of some priests.
dei sacerdoti.
It's a very small church, and originally it was called St. Peregrine at the Naumachia. What was a Naumachia? Naumachia was an ancient stadium where the Romans used to organize naval battles, and apparently in ancient times there used to be a Naumachia in that particular area.
The ancient tradition associates the following name with Charlemagne in the year 800.
It changed its name to the Church of St. Peregrine when, in the 9th century, during the coronation of Charlemagne, the church received the relics of the Bishop of Auxerre, St. Peregrine.
He was a Roman priest, missionary, and then bishop, who died as a martyr in a persecution in the 4th century. At that point, the chapel became the Church of St. Peregrine, and it was part of a larger complex, like others that sprang up around St. Peter's.
The first date mentioned is in 795 because Leo III at that time entrusted it to the care of some priests.
The location of the church is unique and refers to the centuries-old history of pilgrimage. It is to be found on the street called Via del Pellegrino, the Way of the Pilgrim. The pilgrims used to walk along this pathway, arriving to St. Peter's Basilica, situated just 200 meters from here.
They could find shelter nearby the church, and if unfortunately the Vatican was, or Rome was their final destination, this was also the place where they could get buried.
Because sometimes pilgrims arrived exhausted and were therefore buried in this cemetery.
Already in the Middle Ages, thousands of people from Northern Europe were traveling to Rome along this route. It was actually the last church before they entered St. Peter's Basilica, and it was at the same time the very last stretch of the Via Francigena, the famous Pilgrim Way that led the Romae, the pilgrims from Northern Europe, ad limina apostolorum, to the tomb of St. Peter.
Sì, la Via Francigena è stata molto importante.
The Via Francigena originates from the description made by the first to trace this route, Archbishop Cedric of Canterbury, who, before the year 1000, described this road upon his return from Rome.
Questa strada al suo ritorno da Roma.
The church, after having been a place of welcome and prayer for ancient pilgrims, had become the property of the Vatican chapter. In 1657, Pope Alexander VII officially granted it to the Pontifical Swiss Guard Corps, which had already been celebrating there for some years.
Le guardie svizzere l'hanno.
The Swiss Guards kept it and used it as their chapel until 1977.
1977.
The walls are still decorated with numerous colorful coats of arms of officers and commanders of the Pontifical Army. The restoration, performed 100 years ago, revealed some amazing frescoes that apparently date back to the 9th century. The value of the chapel is inestimable, especially now, during the Jubilee Year of Hope, when millions of pilgrims from all over the world are once again making their way to St. Peter's tomb, just as hundreds and hundreds of years ago.